In the previous video, we worked on a studio setup to start working with the rendering in Rhino and Cycles. So using Cycles as render engine. Now in this video, we're gonna continue and work on a setting that is more like for an exterior. So we're gonna do Prodviz and Archviz. So product visualization and architectural visualization for an exterior setup, and we're going to continue to explore the various panels for the rendering. And also want to show you here, I applied a little thickness to this backdrop. So this is something that you can do in 3D, but sometimes you can put just an effect. So when you select the object, if you go in the properties tab, you find also these effects that you can apply to that particular object. So in this case, I'm using this one here, that is the thickening. So you can turn it off or on, and when it's on, it's going to simulate a thickness that is not actually there. So if you cannot print this in 3D, but it's just for visualization. And also the other effects that are right here, they are for visualization and rendering. So the first ones are to render. So if you click here, it's going to render, opening up the window, the rendering window. And also here we can see we are already using the denoiser, which is a specific effect to remove the noise from the render. And it's automatically on, but if it's not, you can put it in there like this. So you can save the image that you're rendering. So we're going to see that also later. And this is for the preview. If you want to create a preview render, so a quicker render, and then you have the possibility here to go to the render settings and to save the render window that you are working with. Now down here in the render panel, you can also reset everything to the defaults, so meaning the basic starting point. So it's going to take off everything we done in the previous lesson. And also you can click the render button here if you want to run the render image. And once it's finished, you can save from here. And there are many formats, for example, PNG if you want to save a transparent background, but we're going to go into that later. Then we have the lights, and we already worked with the lights. We know them better. And tools to manage the lights. And then you have other tools like full layers and materials and visibility. And then we have these, we can call it like special effects, which we can apply to the render. And then we have material panel and all the other panels, the sun, the libraries, the ground plane. And here these are for animation. If you want to do animation, you have a few tools, but you can use them, or you can use other like more advanced software like Twinmotion or Unreal Engine. For this new lesson, I want to use another new file. So we're going to start again from zero. And I'm going to use a model from Sketchfab, which is this one here, but you can take, any model you want. I like this one here because it has a lot of details, and also like the interior part and the exteriors. And that's the auto render, and you can click download the FBX format. And again, we already saw we can search and find and download stuff from Sketchfab. So if you don't know how to do it, there are other video guides. And also during the course, we already talk about this. So I download this model and I'm going to put it in this scene. So I'm going to go to File, Import. Important thing is that you extract everything when you download. Here I created a Sketchfab folder, and then I created a folder for this, and I extract everything or just copy and paste it from the zipped folder in here, and make sure everything is unzipped so you can access what you need, which is the FBX file right here. And let's open it up. And just gonna uncheck everything, say OK, and there you go. So this time it's perfect. We don't need to rotate or position this anyhow. So let's start rendering. And again, when you start, you don't want like the best quality. You can leave like low quality, and here you can put like 100 samples, just not to put the pressure on your computer, and let's go render first. So we can see now looks already beautiful. Well, also thanks to the model, of course. The better the model is, the better the rendering. And then we go to ray trace. And we can start like also adjusting the materials here. So try to follow like, step by step. So you start with the object, then you go with the materials, and then you go with the lining, and then you go with the rendering. So here, what I'm going to do is go to the material, find which material this, and is this one here. So now I can deselect, which I know is this one here because it has the yellow circle. And then let's make it like yellow. Oh, you can change, any color you want. Okay, so once we do this, we can also work with the physically based channel. So you can add, for example, here some other effect. I can like bump up the metallic a little bit maybe, and maybe I can adjust the roughness as well. So try to find the correct balance and the material you're looking for. Now for the glass, let's see which material this part is using. So is this one here, window 1, and doesn't look too right, so I'm going to change it into simple glass quickly. So hopefully we will see through that at some point. And you can see this is another type of glass, like kind of black glass. Or, well, we might adjust that later. Now let's apply an EBL, IBL, like image-based lining. So in this case, what we're using, if we start from render, I usually start from this. As you can see here, we're using as a background a solid color, and we can also change that. For example, we can do like green screen, and you can see the reflections and the lining, they are not involved in this because they come from here. So we're using the studio reflections. If you say no environment, you can see it's going to look pretty flat. So you do want some reflections, and this is like a virtual studio, not like a real studio like we created in the previous video. So this is a virtual HDRI environmental studio, and this is for the lining here. So we can push this up or down, and it's only gonna affect the lining. Okay, so now we could use this with a green screen in editing, video editing, or photo montage, wherever. Or we can apply just the 360 environment and say, okay, this is going to be a transparent background. This is going to remove that HDRI from the background, or environment from the background. So all you need to do is when you render, you need to save in PNG format. So you can see here that there is no background. We can already see it. And just when you save, select PNG, and I've already saved this into the renderings folder. So you can see right here, it doesn't have the background. So that's the way you can do this. Now let's apply some other HDRIs. We can use HDRIs from the library, as we already know. So we can go to the import, and there are like many different here. So you have interiors, exteriors, depending on what you want to simulate. Now, if you want to create like a virtual studio, you can apply a studio. Now, this is invisible right now, so we need to turn this back on. So you can see there is a studio around with lights. Or you can apply an exterior. You can also modify this by clicking on the pencil here, so you can rotate the texture, the environment. You can also increase the intensity, and choose another background color. And if you go down, well, this is a procedural map, but I'm going to show you that when you import HDRI, you can also change some other values down here. So you can always, click here and choose another one, or import from the